That's it.
That's it.
No, I don't buy it.
On this day in 2006, Dexter premiered on Showtime. This series follows a forensic blood spatter analyst who leads a secret double life as a vigilante serial killer. Though the series enjoyed mostly positive reviews throughout its run, the final season wasn't well received, with many calling the finale the worst in TV history. What did you think of the 8th season? Let us know in the comments.
Number 10. Lost. Season 6. Lost became a global phenomenon thanks to its tantalizing mysteries.
I mean, we're lost on an island, running from boars and monsters. Freaking polar bears.
Polar bears? You didn't hear about the polar bear?
Viewers tuned in every week in the hope of gleaning answers. While some mysteries would get resolved, there were a great deal more that weren't. That's what made Season 6 such a big disappointment to longtime fans. It also jumped between events on the island and a what-if world where Oceanic Flight 815 never crashed.
Welcome aboard. We were on the same flight. Sydney.
How about that?
The disconnect between the two storylines had us all scratching our heads. The reveal that the alternate world was really purgatory wasn't the neat wrap-up we were hoping for.
For what? To remember. And to let go.
Add on some vague and uninteresting island lore, and you've got Lost at its weakest. Number 9. Weeds. Season 8. To be fair, this Showtime original had left its heyday long before it reached the final season.
I don't want any negative shit. I've had way too much of it already.
The charming presence of a widow selling marijuana to support her family instantly grabbed critics and viewers alike. However, by the end, it was hard to root for Nancy Botwin. Her antics of screwing everyone over, including her children, had gotten old several seasons ago.
We're at least gonna need to cover our costs.
Honey, you're thinking like before Silas. Don't be before Silas. That was the past.
Shane's potential for a good ending crashed when they made him a crooked cop, and Doug starting his own cult was a nonsensical thread that added nothing to the story.
A prophet came unto me. He came from the future. He told me that I would be a leader of men.
Speaking of story, the final season resolved around the forgettable plot of Nancy and company going corporate. When the finale jumped forward several years to show them all wealthy, we found it pretty hard to care. Number 8. Heroes. Season 4. With the modern superhero boom still in its early days, NBC's original creation instantly got everyone's attention.
Save the cheerleader, save the world!
Heroes was a hit during its first season, but sadly ran out of steam almost immediately. In 2007, the WGA writer's strike saw the producers scramble to salvage the show's storylines.
What is this? Some sort of trap?
No, just listen to me.
Back off.
Viewership plummeted, and by the time the fourth season ended, it had retained only around half of its fan base. We're surprised anyone stuck through it all. Season 4 had somehow made a carnival of ne'er-do-wells boring, with the villain being a messy combination of motives.
If I don't work, I don't feed my family. Are you the kind of man that's gonna allow my family to starve?
You know what? This was a mistake.
Siler, the villain of the stronger early days, surprisingly turned good, and most other characters barely served a purpose, if at all. Naturally, it was cancelled soon after. Number 7. Game of Thrones. Season 8. The final season of this epic fantasy featured the same level of incredible effects, stunts, set and prop design, and acting that made it a phenomenon. That in part is why it was such a major disappointment.
You're insulting my late husband.
Are you offended?
With only 6 episodes, Season 8 was a mad dash to the finish line that placed spectacle over substance. The character arcs of Dany, Jaime, and Jon still have fans angry today. Daenerys' descent into madness felt particularly poorly handled.
Next time you fail me, will be the last time you fail me.
The short episode count also meant the long night wasn't actually all that long. And the less we hear about its controversial cinematography, the better. Also, Bran as king? How is that satisfying?
I've had nothing to do but think these past few weeks about our bloody history, about the mistakes we've made.
Number 6. Scrubs. Season 9. This medical sitcom gained a passionate following thanks to off-the-wall humor and a tremendous amount of heart.
Where do you think we are?
Although NBC canceled it after the 7th season, ABC picked it up to give it an ending. Season 8 was a high point, and the finale was as perfect an ending as viewers could have hoped for.
And even though it felt warm and safe, I knew it had to end.
However, when it was well received, ABC got greedy. It decided to bring Scrubs back for a 9th season. Unfortunately, the majority of the writing staff had left and half the characters were replaced by far less likable ones.
I'm Dr. Mahoney, your student advisor. Here's some crappy pizza. Commence feeding.
The pivot to med school could have been an engaging one, but the jokes felt thin and there was no heart, making Scrubs seem like a severely watered-down version of its former self. Number 5. Roseanne, Season 9. Long before this sitcom received a revival in 2018, its final season in the late 90s disappointed fans everywhere.
Oh, I miss you too, Dan.
Well, then let's fix this. I know we can do it. We've always fixed things before.
What had made it a hit was its focus on a working-class family. Viewers related to their struggles and laughed along as they worked through them. But Season 9 took all that away when the Connors won the lottery for $108 million.
What are you talking about? We won the lottery! I can't believe it!
Gone were the realistic plot lines. Instead, the family enjoyed its ridiculous wealth and received convenient happy endings. It was a complete 180 of what made the show great. In a final backstab, the finale revealed none of it actually happened. It was all a story made up by Roseanne, who couldn't cope with losing her husband to a heart attack.
It's still the first thing I think about when I wake up, and the last thing I think about before I go to sleep. I miss him.
Number 4. True Blood, Season 7. True Blood hit at just the right time, releasing during the peak of modern vampire mania.
Can't you see what he's really like? And how can you even think about being with him?
Sam, my living room's wrecked. I've got a killer, a vampire, and a shapeshifter on my plate. Right about now, I'm not thinking about being with anybody.
But by the time its run ended, the creative juices had long since dried up. Characters we once loved no longer felt like themselves, and the plot lines on display just went around in circles. Sookie and Alcide as a couple never made sense, nor did they draw any passion from fans.
Just take a shower before you get into our sheets.
All right, fair enough.
Jason and Violet's weird relationship wasn't too pleasing to watch either. Coupled with these plot lines were baffling creative decisions, like choosing to kill Tara off screen, only to make her a ghost to draw the death out.
You were a good mama. I wanted to save you, but I couldn't.
It's no wonder some viewers feel like Season 6 would have made a better ending. Number 3. That 70s Show, Season 8. The history of TV is full of sitcoms that continued on past their prime. Sadly, That 70s Show sits pretty high on that list.
Jackie! My magical horn senses that you're sad. You need someone to talk to.
To be fair, it can be challenging for a show to continue when the main character leaves. After Topher Grace's Eric left in the Season 7 finale, the show weirdly kept him tied to plot points.
Eric's calling from Africa. You know, I never realized how nerdy he was until I started spending $3 a minute filling him in on Battlestar Galactica.
Additionally, Ashton Kutcher only appeared in 5 episodes to give Kelso an ending. The show attempted to fill their holes with a new character, Randy Pearson, who proved a pale imitation as Donna's new love interest.
Does Eric know you took another man to the movies?
Actually, I invited her. I won tickets from a radio station. My cousin's a DJ, so I just called him up and told him the phrase that pays. My mom has a picture of you and your sister in the bathtub.
The group dynamic just didn't work, and the writing suffered as well, leading to a major decline in viewers until it limped across the finish line. Number 2. Dexter, Season 8. Like many shows, Dexter got weaker the longer it went on.
Deb, I'm your brother. You can hate me if you want, but it doesn't change the fact that I care about you.
Despite this, Season 8 had a decent start. Of course, no one remembers that as the rest of the terrible season overshadows it. Important plot points are completely forgotten about, such as anything to do with LaGuerta's death from Season 7. Others go nowhere, like giving Masuka a daughter.
This is a bad idea. Sorry.
It all came down to poor writing, which culminated in one of the most hated finales in TV history. Dexter ended up faking his own death, leaving his son Harrison to whatever fate, and living in secret as a lumberjack. It was a poor note for the Bay Harbor butcher to go out on. Number 1. How I Met Your Mother, Season 9. How I Met Your Mother comedically stretched a meet cute across multiple years. But stretching a single wedding weekend over an entire season was miserable.
So we'll be good either way, right? Honey?
That's right.
Simple plotlines were extremely thin, like chronicling Marshall's journey to the inn for over half the season. The one bright spot was Kristen Milioti as the fabled mother, whose charm actually lived up to expectations.
Hi.
But the finale ruined even that. It jumped around throughout the years, showing Barney and Robin getting divorced 3 years later, only for Barney to have a daughter with a one-night stand.
Everything I have and everything I am is yours.
Worse, Ted's story concludes with the mother's passing, only for him to once again proclaim his love for Robin at the urging of his kids. What a waste of time.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.